Nottingham Forest are closing on a deal to sign Edin Nketiah from Arsenal. Let's get into the news today.
Welcome back, guys, to another Arsenal transfer news show.
Declan Rice has officially signed for Arsenal.
Players in before the start of the season, if this deal gets done before the start.
So it looks like Edin Dzeko is on his way out of Arsenal. I say finally because, finally looks like this guy's going to be on his way out of Arsenal. And Nottingham Forest seems to be the team that will get the striker. We know there's been quite a lot of speculation around Edin Nketiah this summer transfer window for the striker to leave Arsenal. And it looks like in these last 9 days, a deal will be done where Nottingham Forest will sign the striker. Who's coming today by David Ornstein. Nottingham Forest close to agreeing a fee of Arsenal for Edin Nketiah. They're also progressing talks over the 25-year-old's personal terms. Top striker candidate. Negotiations continue after 25 million offer was rejected. Arsenal want more towards 30 to 35 million for Eddie. So looking like Forest are close to agreeing the fee. They've already offered the first initial bid of 25 million, and that indeed was rejected by Arsenal. We clearly are trying to hold out for around 30 to 35 million. And as it looks like their Forest are going to go back in for another bid, hopefully matching the fee that we want. And Edin Dzeko will be a Nottingham Forest player. As I said, guys, quite a lot of speculation, quite a lot of talk about Edin Dzeko finally moving on this window from Arsenal. We know the whole Marseille situation where Marseille, tried to go for Eddie as well, but they ended up settling with finding a new alternative in Iyawahi, who's gone there now. He's playing for Marseille, and Arsenal couldn't really agree any deal for Nketiah to sign for them. We know that Bournemouth also were interested in Edin Nketiah. Again, similar situation to the Marseille. They instead opted to sign Evan Nilsson from Porto, and now it is Nottingham Forest's turn to try and sign Edin Nketiah. However, and this is, I think you got to look at this as well, just going off the past two teams who have tried to sign Edin Nketiah. Nottingham Forest, of course, are not the only ones in terms of, this is not their only option, I should say, in terms of the striker. They are also looking at signing the final striker, Santiago Jimenez, of course. They have put a bid in for him as well, which has been rejected, and they're going back in for another bid for him. So, as much as we see the news and the close sign Edin Nketiah, it could be a very similar situation to what we've seen the past other two clubs do. I'm talking about Bournemouth, I'm talking about Marseille, where they don't sort of go for Edin Nketiah and they go elsewhere and they go for alternative. As I said, to keep that in the back of the mind there, guys, that Nottingham Forest are also looking at Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord as well, as well as Edin Nketiah. They have them both on the list, so they could quite easily go for Jimenez instead. And with 9 days left of the window, guys, time is running out. Time is seriously running out to sell this guy. And listen, I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm all for Arsenal holding out for the fee. I think that's been one of the things that we've all criticised in the past in terms of Arsenal when it comes to selling players. We know we are not great at selling players whatsoever. We know we don't get any money, any good sense of money for some of our players. So I'm all for Arsenal holding out for this 30 million, 35 million for Edin Nketiah. But at the same time, we've got 9 days left, and there's other clubs interested as well, guys. I know Everton are also showing us a little interest. I think Crystal Palace are backing for him as well. So there is other clubs there as well. But it is 9 days left this window. And I don't want to get to the stage where we get to the end of the window and he's still at Arsenal. Yeah, we have to get this guy gone this window. We have to get money for him as well. I do hear that. I do understand why we're holding out for quite a lot of money. In terms of 30 million for Eddie. But I think this is where, if it gets to the stage where he's still here at deadline day, we have to move him on, because what if we don't move him on? What if we don't? We've had very multiple opportunities to move this guy on, and we haven't. In January, we had the chance to move him on. We didn't. The season before that, there's 3 clubs in for him. We could have got 35 mil for him a few years ago. We didn't. Instead, we gave him the new contracts with 100k a week and a number 14 shirt. So mistakes coming back, guys, because we could have sold this guy 2 years ago for 35 million, and now we're trying to haggle for 30 million. But I do see it with Arsenal, like, and it's one of criticisms I've had as a fan is like, when it comes to selling players, we don't get enough. So I do understand, like, we need to get the best money we can for him, and that is holding out for 30 million. But I just think if it gets to the end of the window, because we know as soon as Nketiah does go, then that should mean Arsenal will sign a striker. What if he stays? Will we sign a striker? If Edin Dzeko stays, does that mean we'd actually sign a striker? Like, that's my question. Are we even going to sign a striker anyway, even if he does leave? That's also my other question. We know we need a striker desperately, for sure. Like, we need a striker, but and I think the only way we're going to sign a striker, in my opinion, is if Edin Dzeko does leave. So it may be one of those ones where we may have to just sell him on a deadline day. If he gets 9 days, of course, hold out for as much as you can. But unfortunately, this guy cannot be staying with us next season. Yeah, we cannot have this guy next season, because, listen, as harsh as it sounds, the guy is not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. It's as simple as that. He's just not good enough. He's came in and he's had good moments here and there. Yeah, we all remember his goal against Chelsea and Man United. He's hat-trick against Sheffield United, but the ultimate thing with Edin Nketiah is consistency. Yeah, his consistency was not there for me. He'd come in, as I said, he'd have a few good games, he'd score some goals, everyone got on the hype train, and then he'll get the run. Yeah, because he would get the game time. Jesus was injured a few years ago. He got the game time. He came in and he scored against Man United, those 2 goals, but then what did he do after that? Too inconsistent. And even when we see him come off the bench, like, does he really do anything? Like, I know it sounds really harsh, but I'm just seeing what I'm seeing with this guy. Does he really do anything off the bench? Well, is he a type of player you look at and saying, "Oh, right, Edin Nketiah, you're going to change the game"? Is he that type of player? No, he's not. He's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, man. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. Right, I get he's came from How End, and everyone's got this soft connection for the How End talent and all these How End players. But no, it's time to move on from Edin Dzeko. It's time that he leaves. It's time, that he goes elsewhere, and for the benefit of his career, goes and progresses elsewhere. Because it's time to move him off the wage bill, and it's time to sign a better striker and another striker, with all due respect to Edin Dzeko. I think a move to the Premier League, he's still going to be staying in the Premier League if he goes to Nottingham Forest. He's going to have a bit of competition there, like with Taiwo Anawi, the other Forest striker, but I think he'll get game time at Forest. I think he'll do well there. But listen, let me say something now. This is how it's pretty bad, right? Even Nottingham Forest fans don't want the guy. I'm not even joking as well. I'm not even joking. Even Nottingham Forest fans are saying that they don't want the guy. Like, it's crazy. But Forest, listen, Nottingham Forest fans, you're getting a world-class player on your hands. There's a reason why he's number 14 at Arsenal. You need to understand this, Forest fans, yeah? You need to understand that Edin Nketiah won number 14. Omri's iconic number, because he has similarities to Omri, guys. This is my message to Forest fans, yeah? So I'll say big excited Forest fans. You're signing a fantastic striker, an absolute phenomenal striker with absolute phenomenal and world-class talent and world-class Omri-esque attributes. He's a quality. He's a gunman striker. And not in a Forest, please. Take him. Take the money. Pay the money. We're out of it, guys. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Edin Nketiah, all the best. And yeah, honestly, like real talk. Wish him all the best. Time to move on. Thanks everyone who tuned in, guys. I'll